All right, and we're live. Welcome to the unholiest of the unholy, the unholy brotherhood of the electric church. I'm
Yes,
Dustin.
sir.
This is Will, and
Here.
we're coming live. It's Sunday, January 22nd. So, what's
Yeah,
been
buddy.
new with you, Willie?
Not too much. I was hoping you weren't gonna ask that question first because I'm gonna literally have nothing new. But just enjoying this cold, rainy Sunday here in the eastern part of the country, and I can't ask for anything better than that. What about you, sir?
Man, my feet are fucking frozen. I'll tell you that much. I hate this cold, rainy weather. I don't know. You enjoy just any kind of weather we got, whether it's hot, cold. You're just like, you go hiking in this shit. Man, I'm like,
Love
fuck
it.
that. I ain't walking outside. Then it's too hot. And I'm like, I'll sit there and curse the fucking heat too at the same goddamn time.
Exactly. Exactly. So what's going on in the world today? Who do we have? Do we have anybody that we can put on blast right away?
I think, yeah, I'd say our weekly unholy saints. I think we're gonna go with that topic, and I think right now we got two B players. Like I said earlier, before we started recording, they're the B level actors in a shitty horror movie. We got Biden, as always. I mean, he never really fails to disappoint. I mean, you can't go a day without a Biden blunder. And then we got Alec Baldwin. So Biden's blunder, it's been probably going on for about a month now. It's these documents, you know. He
Right.
talked all that shit about our former president and the documents down there in Florida, and then bam, and this motherfucker wasn't even the president.
That motherfucker. Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong, and he was putting Trump on blast the entire time while he was doing the exact same thing. I mean, I don't know how the man sleeps at night.
And he acts like he doesn't know. Like, and then I don't know if you've seen it in one of the press interviews. He's laughing. He's
Yeah,
like laughing at the interviewers.
yeah. I don't know what's funny. I'll tell you what, when Trump got hit with his stuff, he wasn't laughing about it too much. He was pissed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they rated him. I mean, these were like his
Yeah.
aides stumbled across them. I think the FBI searched his home today, but I guarantee you they didn't go in there with battering rams and
Uh,
blue FBI jackets with fucking every news outlet available on scene.
yeah.
And that's the difference.
And you
Yeah.
know what? Back when the FBI was raiding Mar-a-Lago, they were going through Melania's closet. It's like, come on, man. What's that? What does she have in there? You think he said, well, I'm just gonna put this document here in your dress, all right, honey, and we're gonna leave it alone for a while, okay? It's like, come on, man, get the hell out
Well,
of
the
here.
clothes that she wears, I don't really know where she'd hide it.
Exactly. Thank you.
I mean, she
Thank
doesn't
you.
wear much for clothes to begin with, so
Now you know damn well they did not go through Dr. Jill's clothes. I'm telling you, they did not go through her clothes.
probably smells like mothballs and wet farts. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to touch it either. So
Probably smells like a donkey's ass.
definitely probably does. So yeah, that's what's going on with our fearless leader. And one of his biggest supporters and one of that side's biggest supporters caught up in a involuntary manslaughter. He didn't pull the trigger. Then he
Yeah,
did pull the trigger. He doesn't remember if he pulled the trigger. These motherfuckers all have dementia.
I know. And Baldwin was on Epstein's flight log to Lolita Island or whatever.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. I mean, how many people, and that's like not giving him a bone, but how many people were. I mean, if that list ever does come out, I mean, imagine the names that are going to be on it. I mean, a lot of people.
Some of it has come out, man. There's quite a few names that are on that flight log, and I don't know how they're getting it. I don't know if the whole flight log has came out or not, but I know there's a lot of people on there besides Bill Gates and Bill Clinton. There's a lot of celebrities. What Tom Hanks, Kevin Spacey. Well, Kevin Spacey's crooked.
Oh yeah,
Anyway, I would have been surprised if he wasn't on that flight log.
didn't he get exonerated? Kevin Spacey, didn't he win that trial? I think
Uh,
he won that trial that where like it was like a rape or statutory rape or something of
they
one of.
they dropped the charges or something, like the man that was accusing him lost the cell phone messages or deleted them or something like that. It was a whole bunch of craziness.
How fishy is that?
It's pretty
Oh,
fishy, but Kevin Spacey's a wild dude, though.
yeah, he is. He's fun to watch. He's a hell of an actor, and that's
He's a great
kind of what
actor.
bums me out about someone like, and that's where like when it does come time for political, like I don't really mind their opinions. Like, have your dipshit opinions. If you're like a good actor, I'll enjoy watching you regardless. Some
Right?
people, on both sides, like let's boycott Amazon or let's go burn these fucking NFL jerseys. I think all that shit's stupid. Do you like it? Like people are
No.
entitled to their own wacky fucking opinion. I
Right.
mean, I don't think they should be using their platform to share it, but it doesn't take away like that I appreciate their art. I mean,
Right.
still like what they do. I mean, I don't really care for kid fuckers, but you know.
Well, thanks to social media, now you get to hear everybody's opinion. So,
Oh, exactly.
would it
We're
have
gonna
been
add
like
to that.
this? Would it have been like this 25, 30 years ago? Probably not. I'm not even saying anything about Kevin Spacey. I'm saying about the whole world. Would it would everybody be so open and choose this side or choose that side, or I'm going to choose this problem over this problem? I don't think it would be going on without social media. I really don't.
No, no. Well, your microphone is so much louder now. Like, I mean, you have access to, before what you have maybe 100 people that you interact with on a daily basis, and now you
If
can
that,
reach millions,
right?
billions actually.
Yeah,
It's I don't know the exact statistic, but I mean, just with Translate on Facebook, I mean, I can watch anything and get a translation on it. So I mean, I
yeah.
could see the opinions of Ukraine or Russia or China or fucking Germany. I can see all their opinions because all I have to do is just click that button to say translate. So, yeah, it's a wild
Everybody,
world.
everybody's got an audience at the tip of their fingers now.
Yeah, until you get face to face with them, then they don't have an opinion at all.
Come at me, bro.
No, 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 it's ma'am. Or yeah,
I miss that guy. I wonder what that guy's up to these days. It's ma'am.
I don't know. Probably fucking around with what's his name? What's a little well
Kevin Spacey.
no, no, no. Uh, the conservative guy. What's his name? The one that talks like this, and he has the radio show, and he is
Ben
uh,
Shapiro.
yeah. They're probably having secret gay sex.
You don't like you don't like Shapiro?
No, I like him, but I just there's something funny about the guy, you know.
Yeah, he's different. That's for sure. He's different.
Yeah, he's just a when they get a little too extreme like that, it's kind of like this question I have on this thing here about Mike Pence.
Yeah.
So Mike Pence is gay, right? I mean, isn't it kind of like when they get on that extreme, like,
Are you asking that as a general question? Or are you making a statement? It's kind of like, well, we all know Mike Pence is gay, right?
kind of both? Like, I mean, I'd like to see your input on it, but I mean, when they get like, look at Jimmy Falwell or whatever, they're like all these evangelical pastors and shit that get wrapped up in
Yeah.
all these sex scandals, whether it's homosexual, heterosexual, whatever they do. But
Right.
it's like they sit there and they preach against the big bad, whatever it is, and then they get caught with the fucking 20 rock of crack and a fucking transvestite hooker, in downtown Chicago. And it's like, oh, I had a lapse of judgment. The devil tested me. And it's like, get the fuck out of here with your bullshit.
Yeah, the devil didn't test you when you were in goddamn Thailand with a fucking lady boy on the red light district and a bag of cocaine. The devil wasn't testing you. You were testing the devil.
Exactly. Exactly. My point exactly. So yeah, Mike Pence, I think there's something at least a little funny about that guy, whether he's actually engaged in activities or not
Yeah.
remains to be known. But I think if we looked at his internet browser history, we'd be pretty interested in what it has to show.
Well, I think we well, I think we know one person that would pin him as a not so great person. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think it's Mr. Trump.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think if we would ask him that question, he might have few choice things to say about it.
And maybe he'll, if he ends up running against him, maybe he's got some inside information from the NSA and all this will come to light.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
So you got some things, some questions you want to ask yourself about a golden age classic of television.
Well, they're important questions, and they're pretty personal questions, and I don't know if you're ready to I mean, you tell me, are you ready to answer? We're gonna get deep here, man. So, is that something you're comfortable with?
Yeah, I think I can get down with that.
Right then. Well, this is a segment of the show that we're gonna try to do a little regularly, and it's called "Pick Your Pawn Star." And uh, those of you that don't know out there, maybe the younger audience, Pawn Stars was a show on History Channel back in the mid early 2000s, and the show consisted of a pawn shop in Las Vegas, a major pawn shop, lots of memorabilia in there, lots of collectibles, and it revolved around four guys. Pops, he was the old man, and he was the guy kind of behind the scenes, but he knew everything about everything. And then you had Rick. Rick was the main star of the show. He had the bald head. He was usually behind the counter. His famous lines were, I got a buddy of mine that knows a little bit more about this than I do. Let's let him take a look. Or he would always say, that's the best I can do, when people would be making him offers. All right. Then you had his son, Big Hoss. I think his real name was Brandon or Justin, one of those white boy names. And he was kind of a knucklehead. But the real knucklehead was Chumley, and Chumley was Hoss's good buddy. He worked at the pawn shop. Pretty funny guy. Got into a little bit of scandal later on in his career, but we like Chum. I think he's a cool guy. So that's going to lead me to my first question, and this is a kind of like a you know pick your character type of thing. So we're going to lay out a few scenarios here, and Dustin, I'm going to personally ask you which pawn star you would pick in this said scenario. Okay, so I'll give you an example for my first question. All right, you're in a 14-hour nonstop flight. All right, you're in the plane right now. There's nobody else in the plane. All right, except for one other person, and he's sitting in the seat directly next to you. Okay, you can pick either pawn star for this, and we'd appreciate a little bit of explanation of why you chose this person, but if you don't want to, that's fine. So, first one, 14-hour nonstop flight. Person next to you is either Rick or Chumley. Who do you
I,
pick and why?
I think I'd go with Rick just because he's got a pretty good understanding of history. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy. He's kind of laid back, easy. He seems like he's easy to have a conversation with. You could have a little fun, he's kind of a funny guy.
Yeah.
Chum, I think a 14-hour flight, maybe for like the first, unless it's like a party flight, I don't think I'm getting down with Chum because I
Uh,
think he would eventually start getting on my fucking nerves. And I'd be like, dude, you got to shut the fuck up. Like you're acting a goddamn fool right now. So I think Rick, just for the sake of my sanity, would probably be the best.
Why do I feel like Chum would down like 14 miniature bottles of vodka and then in an hour he'd be asleep next to you for the next 13 hours?
That's possible, but I think that if he were gonna do that, he might take some fucking Adderall or something, and I feel like the alcohol just wouldn't stop him. It would make him drunk, but I think he would just turn into like a fucking monster. We'd get off the plane and all the fucking windows would be bashed out. Somehow we would escape the fucking vacuum pressure because
Yeah.
just his size would hold us down, and the fucking plane seats would be torn to shreds, missing out the fucking windows. Everything would just be it would be a disaster. There would be fucking millions of bottles laying around, and
Right.
then you'd probably see me just, like, laying there passed out, like, my ears are probably fucking bleeding, and it would probably end up pretty bad.
Why do I feel like a 14-hour flight with Chum would be like more or less his version of a 14-hour like crystal meth binge, and
Exactly.
he would treat that plane as he would his house in like Vegas, and you would just go in and it would be like a portal into hell.
Oh, yeah, and I
So,
mean, they are in Nevada, so, I mean, it's not like they don't have ample supply of crystal meth.
oh yeah, they got it by the ton. You can get a crystal meth cheaper than you can get a gallon of milk over there probably.
Oh,
I
I'm
I got
sure.
to I gotta agree with you though. I'd say Rick. Rick would be good convo. You could talk to him and he'd be straight with you and he'd be cool. Um, So we definitely both agree on that one. My next one, okay, this might be a tough one. And I don't know why I chose Rick for this one as a choice too. I should have chose well, I can change it. So you're stranded on a small deserted island. I mean deserted, I mean like just palm trees, sand, rocks, ocean, nothing else. All right. You're stranded with one other person. It's either Pops, the old man, or for this one, we're gonna throw Chumley in there too. Dustin, who do you pick to be stranded on that desert island with?
I definitely don't want Chum. I mean, the old man Pops. I'd probably pick him, even though I'd be concerned for his well being. But I think his
Too.
military expertise. He served in the Navy and he served in the military at a time when, you had to be pretty hard to be in the Navy. Like everybody likes to joke and clown on the Navy and the Air Force now. But back in those days, I mean, they were loading those cannons and they were hardy dudes. I mean, you see pictures of the sailors from back then
Yeah.
and the big ass like they were Popeye, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I'd rather have him for some survival type situations. He'd probably get us out of there, quicker than we got there, or he'd at least have the know-how to, keep us alive for a little while. He'd probably keep me alive, and I'd be picking his ear. I'd be like, dude, you only got about 24 hours before you die, so you need to tell me everything you know, and I'll try to help keep you alive, but just in case you do die. But then you run the same gambit with Chum because I mean but you don't have the expertise from Chum. You just have a big fucking a dumbass. I mean,
Right.
I don't think he would be a very valuable companion in that scenario.
I think Chum in the early days of Pawn Stars, when he was like morbidly obese, I think he'd make a better raft than a better companion on a deserted island.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, use a fat float. So
I'm sorry, guys. I had to throw that one in there. All right, You know what? I gotta agree with you on that one too. I think I'd take Pops. I think Pops would be pretty resourceful. I think he's a pretty good guy. Chum, it would go either way. He'd be passed out the whole time, or he'd be jacked up on meth the whole time, and he'd probably ruin the island for everybody.
yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it would go from a tropical, paradise to a tropical hell.
it would.
He'd be sitting there fucking coconuts and shit.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like any scenario Chum's in, he's gonna turn it into a portal of hell, especially someone's bathroom. I can imagine a public bathroom. He would just completely incinerate. It would be the devil would be scared of him after that.
I don't know, man. I let off some fucking atomic bombs in bathrooms too myself, so I can't really hate on him there. There's been some that I've choked myself out. We know we all love our own brew. When you can
Yeah,
choke yourself out, that's pretty rough.
yeah. When you can't stand being around yourself in that scenario, that's bad, man.
But he's probably the dude that pisses on the toilet seat and shit. He doesn't even lift the toilet. He probably just pisses all over the seat and the floor. He's
No
probably that kind of
respect.
asshole.
Yeah, he probably has no respect for anybody else. But all right, so it my next one has Chum involved too. So I don't know. I don't even know. This may work. This may not. All right. So you're going on a backpacking trip. All right. You got all your gear, tent, sleeping bag, pad, all that stuff. You're not sleeping in a hotel. There's no Four Seasons, no Airbnb. Okay. You're on a backpacking trip through the Siberian wilderness. Okay. Pretty rough part of the world. All right. You can take one person with you, only one of these two people. All right. Dustin, your choices are once again Mr. Chum Lee, or of course Hoss, which, little Rick, Rick Jr., Rick's son. Who do you choose in that scenario?
In a hiking scenario.
Backpacking. I mean, it's pretty much survival.
That's a tough one because they're both kind of on par with intelligence. I think I'd probably have to go with Hoss on that one. I'd love to pick Chum. I'm kind of split on that. It's like a 50-50. I'd have to flip a coin. But at the end of the day, Hoss, he's got the genes from Rick at least. So I
Yeah.
think maybe that might be his saving grace, kind of be of more assistance. I think Chum would just like sit there and watch me doing everything. It's like, you want a fire? Oh yeah, you should build one. I think that's how that would be. Like, I'd have to go collect everything. I'd have to start the fire. I'd have to find the food, and
Yeah.
I think at least Hoss would like he values life a little bit more. So
Yeah. I agree. I think Hoss. I gotta go with you on that one too. I think Hoss would be a much better candidate. I think Hoss is not a complete idiot. Chumley, maybe. It's kind of, is he borderline, maybe mentally impaired? It's possible. Hoss seems like he's not.
Yeah, definitely.
All
Definitely.
right. Well, all right. This is the last one, the last and final question of the week for Pick Your Pawn Stars. This one does not involve Chumley, um, but it's an interesting one. All right. Picture this: you're stranded in a car on a back road, and you know those kind of back roads I'm talking about. All right, rough roads, not too many houses on those roads, absolutely no businesses whatsoever. It's you and the trees and the road, and that's it. Stranded in a car on a back road in a blizzard. You're stuck, dude. You ain't moving that car or truck or whatever you got. All right. Help could be hours and hours away. You have one person riding in your passenger seat. You're the driver. One person riding in your passenger seat. Hoss or Pops? Who do you pick?
Pulse. I don't want Pop to die on me out there. I mean, and I know that I don't really need to stay alive for that long, but that could be detrimental to him.
Yeah,
So I think Hoss, you know, we have a lifeline there. We know when we're going to be rescued. We got to wait a little while, but you know, we're out there, especially if it's like Nevada or somewhere in that area. At least we know that someone's coming. But it's hot as shit during the day, cold as shit at night. Pops, I just don't. I'm concerned for his health. He's an
I
old
am too.
man, so
You got to work a lot harder. Your heart works a lot harder in the cold, man. Pops don't have the greatest ticker.
and he wasn't a small guy either.
He
That puts
wasn't.
extra strain on that heart. So
That's true. And rest in peace, Pops, for sure, man. I miss that old dude. He was one of the best parts of the show.
definitely
But
was.
but Rick still going strong, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's mid 50s, early 60s, right?
Yeah, and you got to give him something else. He has still not been able to grow a single hair on that bald fucking head of his.
Oh, he waxes that shit. I guarantee you, he waxes that.
I guarantee you, he don't have to wax it. Ain't no hair growing on that chrome dome. All right, well, that's the Pawn Stars, the Pick Your Pawn Star of the week. Um, I think I agree with all your choices, and I think it's interesting. And we're gonna come up with some more scenarios for you guys. And if you get a chance, watch Pawn Stars. It's on Freevee or Tubi. It should be on tonight. They show all the reruns. If you haven't seen it, it's a great show. Rick's the man. Rest in peace, Pops. That's all I got for that.
All right. Well, it looks like our meeting's going to run out because I guess you have to upgrade to pro.
I do.
So, no, I do, or like we
Oh,
both. I don't know. It's all right. Go. Okay.
All
So,
right.
looks like we had a little bit of an issue with Zoom that's glitching out like a motherfucker. So, we had to go on to the ghetto Facebook, and I'm actually recording my entire screen on a Facebook Messenger call. But if it works, it works. Can't complain too much.
Fuck you, Zuckerberg.
Don't get zucked. Go zuck yourself.
All right. Well, look, we got the Pawn Stars picks of the week out of the way. I think you had a couple questions, Dustin, and what are these? Just a random set of questions, right?
Yeah, they're a pretty random set of questions. I actually have this game. Got it. I play it with my wife, and sometimes with the kids. There's some adult questions, but we'll do a plug. I'll put a link in the comments or the description. So if you wanted to do this game, maybe we have some where you start getting on the comments. If we do some live videos, you guys can play along. But it's a really funny game. It's got adult questions. It's got questions, if you don't want to go the adult route, you have children, you want to play with them. There's some cleaner questions on here too. I play them all. My kids, I don't give a fuck. They're going to learn it someday. So, if you don't like it, you can fuck your mother.
And is that a picture of you at infancy on the front of that card game?
I think it is. I think it's the first time that I discovered my wiener. I was like, oh my God, if I touch it, it feels good.
That's great, man.
So
That's
yeah,
great. All right. Go ahead, man.
got
Shoot.
some questions. We're gonna go with the first one. We're gonna shuffle them up a little bit, and we will go with put some hot sauce on it. Here's
All right.
something that I think about sometimes. It's putting hot sauce on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What do you think? Do you think that would be good? Like, what's your input on that?
I think that would be rough. I think that'd be rough.
You think it'd be rough? Why do you have that opinion? It's just hot sauce.
Whew. Ah, well, I don't know. Elvis Presley used to eat uh peanut butter and bacon on a hoagie roll, and a lot of people say it was the best sandwich they ever had in their life. He ate one every single day, so I don't know. I could change my mind. I mean, hot sauce on peanut butter. I don't know. That's a tough one, D. I don't know.
I could get behind the peanut butter and bacon just because I mean, like, if you're eating breakfast, bacon and maple syrup, or your sausage
Hmm.
and dip that because I always dip it in my maple syrup. But yeah,
Yeah.
the and peanut butter is a similar. It's like a sweet kind of. So you're adding a salty and sweet, and so I get that. The peanut butter and jelly sandwich is a little strange, but I mean, think about like the spicy, like jalapeno jellies, like, or if you have like a spicy grape infused jelly, it's not really
Right.
a hot sauce, I guess you could say, but it's like a take on hot sauce, if you ask me.
Yeah. They got
So
a lot of hot pepper jelly and stuff out now.
yeah, so I mean, it's all the hipster shit, and maybe it would be good. I don't know if it's necessarily for me. Maybe it's not. The question shouldn't be, is it good? Is it palatable? Like, are you able to fucking eat it without vomiting? That would be a better question, in my opinion. Because, I mean, there's some things, like, I could probably choke a lot of shit down without vomiting. You give me a tomato, I'm throwing up, but, you know.
I got a question for you. Are the hipsters still around, or have they all been deported?
I think they're all in Portland.
They've all been deported to Portland.
Yeah, and I think, during COVID, they realized that, you know, shit kind of sucks. So that's when they took over that city block, or maybe that was Seattle. But they're in that general Pacific Northwest there, and I
Yeah,
think that's where they should stay, in my
they're
humble
in that
opinion.
they're in that general shithole of America.
Yes, indeed they are, and let them stay and ruin the West Coast because we don't need them over here. We got enough issues like
Thank you.
snow and the
Hey,
fucking rain.
God bless, dude. You got that right.
So we got
All right, what you got?
question number 2. As compared to horse meat, like either of us have ever even fucking eaten horse meat, do you
I
think
love horse meat.
do you think that unicorn meat tastes better than horse meat though? Say unicorns were real. Would you rather eat a unicorn or would you rather eat that horse?
Unicorn meat's probably more tender and more flavorful. Has a nice buttery texture.
How would you feel about eating a unicorn though, this majestic creature?
I'd eat it as long as there was another one. Like if I wouldn't eat the only unicorn in the world, but if I knew there was two, I'd probably eat the other one.
So let's throw like a little mix up here. Let's remix one of your questions. So you're
All right.
stranded on the desert island, this
Uh,
island, and you got Pops here, the only living source of food because all the fish have went away because there was a big oil spill. The only thing is at the top of this mountain. It's this majestic, beautiful, glowing unicorn. It's the only source of meat, though. It's the only source of any kind of sustenance that you're gonna get. What are you doing with that unicorn? The only one left in the world.
I guess me and Pops are gonna eat that bitch.
That's a good answer. I agree with you there. I'd feel guilty while eating it, but I wouldn't feel guilty that I'm still alive and that thing's not. I think there's a lot of people out there that might, try to virtue signal and be like, I would never touch the unicorn. It's so majestic and magical. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm eating that bitch.
Can I be honest with you? I would eat that because I would not let that old man starve. I would eat that unicorn before I let that old man starve.
I think I would eat that unicorn and then I would take the horn and hide it until we're absolutely like both of us are on our deathbed, and then I'm probably stabbing Pops. I'm gonna eat him too until I can get
You, you,
rescued because I'm hungry.
you you're sick.
Hey, Donner's Pass, man. Donner's Pass.
You're you're just gonna go straight Lord of the Flies on that shit, aren't
I
you?
am. I would. You'll catch me in a fucking loincloth running around with this unicorn horn. I am the sole survivor. I am the sole survivor. And then I find out, like, after they rescue me, there's like a town 2 miles down the road that we could have walked to the whole time. I'd be like, fuck. Now they're
Then
going to
you
charge
just
me for
chuck it.
murder.
You just chuck that unicorn horn right in the ocean and just forget about
They just act like the glove doesn't fit.
it.
So
Yeah, buddy.
question number 3, and I don't think you have a dog currently, but you've had a dog, your little Lucy Lou.
Yeah,
So
she's still alive.
this question is called "The Dog is Panting." How comfortable are you having intimate relations while your dog is in the room? Do you think the dog has an idea what's going on?
Ah, damn, dude, you dropped a bomb on me, man. I don't know. I got a lot of respect for my animals, dude. That's a tough one. It depends on the female.
Would it
Depends
ruin?
on the female.
So it wouldn't ruin the mood.
Dude, if it's a one in a lifetime shot, I gotta take that shot, puppy or not. I gotta do it.
So say the dog's in the room and it comes up and you feel that cold nose right between your butthole. Does that stop you, or
Oh,
do you just swat the dog away and say get and just keep on going?
that dog's getting swatted away.
Okay, I think I can agree with you on that one. I think I agree with that on any scenario. So that dog,
So good.
maybe they know what's going on, but there's no shame in my game. So
No, and then you just throw the dog a bone, man. Give him an extra treat or whatever when it's all said and done, and hopefully bygones can be bygones.
yeah, sorry I swatted you and you don't have any balls, but I was using mine. So
Just using what God gave me, that's all.
yep. So we all know that there's no secret we could be on the precipice of another global conflict, another world war with these eggheads over there in Eastern Europe, and
Yeah?
also with the Chinese encroaching on Taiwan. There's been some saber rattling, and North Korea is always up to their shenanigans, along with the Iranians. So, say there is a conflict that happens and they have to reinstitute a national draft. Would you eat Nancy Pelosi's asshole to get out of that draft?
Ah, no, I'd go to war.
Even though you know that there's like 2 billion Chinese, then you would most likely lose your life. You'd still go. You wouldn't get some corn
I
soup
would,
out of that booty.
yeah, that's disgusting. I would scramble through that bush before I would scramble through her bush. And that's all I got to say. God bless America. I would put that helmet on and go straight to war. I'd march into hell if it meant not having to touch her.
I think I'd have to agree, and part of it is just I don't find her attractive in the least. But secondly, her attitude, I think it would just be like, you're not doing it right. You don't understand. You listen to me. You're not understanding. It would be like, bitch, would you shut the fuck up and just get this tongue in your ass? Like, just let me do it. Let me do God's work. And she'd be
Yeah,
like,
dude,
it would just be like, God damn it, shut the fuck up. I'd probably end up fucking packing her in a bag and taking her to war with me. I'm like, I got two. I got two of us. We're willing to sign up for the draft. Shut up, bitch. We're going. And then I'd turn her over to the Chinese.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. No.
When those 2 billion soldiers come down to me, I put my hands up, I drop the bag, and I say, I have Pelosi. I have Pelosi. Let me free. Let me free.
Yeah, Pelosi's holes, that's a no-go zone for me, Bubba. I agree with you, dude. That ain't gonna happen.
I think it's a no-go zone for her husband, too.
Mm,
He about spit his drink out on that one. He's like, he
you
just went
can't
there.
do that. You can't do that.
Oh, man, that was great. So we got the
This one
final question
can't do
here. Final
that.
question.
All
Marry,
right.
fuck, kill, but
Ah,
it's company edition.
ah.
So we have Marry, fuck, kill, Disney, like the Walt Disney Company,
All
Smuckers,
right.
and Pornhub.
Well, you just burst my bubble because I was really hoping you were going to ask me if I would fuck Walt Disney, and the answer is yes.
Would you get fucked by Walt Disney?
The answer is also yes.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. So does that stand true for the company, or would you rework those a little bit? We have Disney, Schmuckers, like the Jelly Company, or Pornhub.
All right, so it's what is it? It's marry, kill, or fuck,
Yep,
right?
yep.
All right, so I would marry Pornhub, I would fuck the Disney Corporation, and I guess I'd have to kill off Smuckers. I'd have to kill them.
Those are some interesting choices. Why would you marry
Well,
Pornhub? That you're marrying a slut.
it's unlimited entertainment.
So is Disney.
I'm not looking for that type of entertainment.
So
All right, what's yours? Come on, dude.
I
Be
think
honest. Don't beat around the bush either.
I'd fuck Pornhub because it would get down and dirty. I think I'd. Man, I'm fat. I like food, so I think I'd have to go with Mary and Smuckers. So they'd give me a
What?
lifetime supply of peanut butter and jelly, and
They give
then,
you a lifetime supply of jelly. There's no peanut butter involved.
well, I can get peanut butter from somewhere. It's dirt cheap still. Unless it goes the way of eggs, I guess I'm fucked then. But I can make
Oh,
do. I can still make do biscuits and jelly. It's fine. But
oh, that
I'd have
sounds
to kill
good.
Disney. They're not really
You'd kill
bringing
off.
much to the table for me. I like their movies, but I don't like them enough to have them around.
You'd kill off the mouse. But what you're really killing off is Larry Fink and the BlackRock Corporation.
And I'm okay with that. But the BlackRock
I'm okay with that.
Corporation probably owns all of those companies anyway, or
Well, they definitely own Disney.
some sort of subsidiary owns the company that owns Smuckers and Pornhub, who then BlackRock owns that company. So indirectly, they own the entire world. So
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. BlackRock is some shady dudes. Larry Fink, man, that's another guy. I don't know how he sleeps at night. I mean, I'm sure he sleeps in a $1 billion bed, but excuse me, I still don't know how he does it.
well, they did a test. I don't know. With people like you're in a remote location and it's not really happening, but they did this test where so you're sitting in this warehouse, say, and you're sitting there and you're controlling a knob of like they tell you it's electricity, and you have
Right.
a live video feed to someone else. Have you ever seen this video?
I've heard of that. Yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
I've heard
hooked
of it.
up to like an electric chair, and the guy's there telling you you need to turn this knob. He's an enemy, or that he's feeding you all this bullshit. You need to turn this knob, and it shows people like they do hesitate, they sweat, they're nervous about it, and the
But they keep
person,
doing it.
yeah, and they until he dies, and I think they said only like 20%, stop. 20
Right.
30% don't go along with it. So I mean that's the Larry Fink thing. I mean, it's like he doesn't see the havoc that's wreaked by his companies. I mean, so yeah, what is it? Blissful ignorance. He knows to an extent, but is it really something like he doesn't know the people that he's affecting?
He knows what he's doing.
But it's easy to do it to people that you don't know or care about.
Larry Fink is a piece of crap. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And hopefully BlackRock goes down eventually. But the way things are looking, they ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Probably not. I mean, $1 billion company. I agree with you there. They're not going anywhere. They could
Can I?
probably. And I don't think because with all due respect, and I know we talked about this before, I don't have much respect for Alec Baldwin or his entire family. Joe Biden, I don't care for, but I think they're on a different level of scumbaggery, and I don't think Larry Fink or any of those guys are worthy of the unholy saint. I don't think he's worthy.
Not yet or not this week?
I just don't think he's worthy altogether. I just don't want to. There's certain people that I don't want to give a platform to, and I think he's one of them. I think the unholy saint. It's you got to be able to laugh at it a little bit, and or at least that's a human character. Some of these, like, do you even think they're human at this point? Like, where's his humanity? Like, I don't think Joe Biden. I don't agree with him. I don't think he's like out to destroy the world or control the entire world.
No,
Alec
I don't either.
Baldwin's just a schmuck. Uh, and I think that's. I know they're unholy saints, but they're saints still. You know.
You You hate all the Baldwins. True
I
or false?
there's one that I don't mind, but most of them like Billy Baldwin, I definitely can't. I troll him on Twitter on a regular basis.
Can I ask you this then? What is your beef with the Baldwin boys? And be specific. I mean, because I think I myself and I think a lot of people want to know, why do you hate the Baldwins as much as you do?
I feel like their entire family was like clones because they all look like each other, and
They
it's
do.
more of like an aesthetic thing. Like it's not even really. I don't like their personalities. They come off they're holier than thou. I don't really like that. So I mean that's some of it, and then just like the way they carry themselves, their smug little looks and their side part in their hair and their fucking like super blue eyes. I bet their family somewhere along the lines were like Nazis or something,
Did
and they like
that's fine.
escaped to fucking Argentina and they came up here and took over the entertainment industry.
Do you what is it? Alec Baldwin-Dino or Alvin Baldwin-Tano? He was from Argentina. They just dropped the vowel at the end.
That's very possible. It's very possible.
Do you goodness gracious, I forgot where I was gonna go in this. Well, furthermore, let me ask this, all right? 14-hour flight from here to say Japan, Australia, okay? Baldwin, Alec, or Chumley?
Chumley.
Because you hate Alec.
Yeah, I just thought I would not want to be on a, and I mean maybe it would change. You get on a personal setting with someone, maybe he'd start. Maybe it would be a little different. But I don't think I could stare at him. Like it would just be
He'd be a
hard.
he'd be a smug prick, you know
Yeah,
that.
he'd be like, "Oh, why are you bringing me Bud Light? I want Stella. Get this shit out of my
Yeah,
face." And it's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I just think that he has like a general disdain for the average person, and he thinks that he's better than everybody. That whole family, that's just the way they come off. And maybe,
Let
like I
me
said,
let
maybe they're not, but most likely they are.
well, look, pardon my ignorance, and with bringing Baldwin up and him being in the news and all that, I got to ask the question, and maybe it's out there and I just haven't heard the answer. Why was there a loaded gun on that set where he was able to shoot somebody? Why would a prop gun, why would even a real gun, why would real bullets, why would they be there? What's the significance of that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for it to be loaded, I think is a huge blunder on the production team. Like, how do you go from having, and I think they're specifically different rounds. For a blank compared to an actual bullet. I'm not a gun nut or anything, but I mean,
Exactly.
I think that you should be able to tell the difference. So I think that was a huge mishap. And if he's just flippantly like, he's probably just fooling around with it. I don't think he intended to do it, but that's gun safety
You
101. You would think what because if you pick up a gun, you should always act like it's loaded,
what
whether it's
what if
blanks or not. You're not on an active set. Why was he even fucking with it?
well, that's the first rule of gun safety. Any class you take, that's the first thing they tell you. But let me ask you something. What if it was a scenario, say, Baldwin says, "Hey, let's go to, Uncle Billy's Bar and Grill after we film. The set crew's there, the production crew's there, she's there. All right, they're all having fun, they're all having drinks. People are getting a little bit loose, okay? She makes a joke to Baldwin. Hey, I think your SNL Trump skit sucked, and Baldwin just he holds it in. He takes that personal. All right. He doesn't say anything about it, but he takes it personal. He sees that gun on set, and he's like, "Bow!" You think that's possible?
No,
You think
no.
she maybe insulted his manhood at one time?
No, I don't think he's stupid enough to jeopardize his whole career over something like that. I think there's other ways that he could have done it rather than something that's high profile with a bunch of witnesses. OJ got away with it. So, I mean, I think if he were going to do it, he would take a chance a little more discreetly if that were to happen. I don't think he would just straight up, flat
You're
out.
wrong for you're wrong for that one because OJ didn't do it. So I don't know why
That's
you're
horse
saying he
shit.
got. I don't know why you're saying he got away with it because he didn't do it.
Yeah,
He
okay.
didn't do it.
All right, Johnny.
He didn't do it.
All right,
All right.
you're the white Johnny Cochran.
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
They should have, man. Could you imagine if that came out when Vine and like or TikTok or any of these new social medias, you had him up there, they'd make a whole fucking song about fucking Jesse or not Jesse Jackson, but fucking whatever his name was, the attorney.
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran. They'd make a whole fucking song. If the glove don't quit or fit, you must have quit.
Fit.
And they would have like this fucking like weird ass beat behind it, and they would have like cut scenes to OJ to fucking fucking the attorney Kardashian, and then it would go to Cochran. It would go all over the place. All the judge would be there sitting there doing this. They'd fucking have some animal.
Yeah, buddy, that'd be sick, man. That'd be funny as hell. I'm surprised somebody hadn't done that yet. They probably have.
For as shitty as our generation is with all the social and technology, at least we get some decent entertainment. I'd say that because I mean they can make a meme out of anything.
Yeah, like the hatch wielding hitchhiker. Smash, smash, smash.
Have you watched that on Netflix yet?
Yeah, it's a great. I loved it, man. I was rooting for the guy until about 3/4 of the way through the film, and then I'm like, man, this guy's a piece of shit.
Is he? I haven't watched it, so I don't really know. But so do you think that do you think he was doing it in self defense, or do you think he had a grudge against that dude and he said smash?
I think he was a hopped up little fucking homeless motherfucker, and I think he didn't know what was going on.
So, but he wasn't doing it to defend anybody, or he had previous run-ins with the law, and he has the propensity for violence, and he should probably not be on the street.
Exactly. You would like to think that there are people out there that would do what he did in that situation with the guy pinning the other guy up against the work equipment. Unfortunately, I don't think he was that guy.
Yeah.
All right. From what I've watched, I don't think he was a hero. I think he was a little jackass.
I agree with that assessment just off watching the video and seeing the guy, and that's without even watching the documentary. So, yep. And that leads me to someone being hopped up and all methed out. Who do you think that, you know, I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad. I actually just finished watching it this year. It's been out for how long? And I just I had never watched it. So I finally I binged it. I binged the entire, I finished it in like a week. I watched Better Call Saul and El Camino. I haven't seen season 6 of Saul though, because it's not on Netflix. But
me neither.
I finished season 5. So in the Breaking Bad universe, who is the worst villain in your opinion? I'm going to share my opinion after you. And I mean, because it's a show of villains. Like there's no hero in that show.
I could definitely say Gus would be one of them, but then the bikers towards the end of Breaking Bad, they were a pretty rough crew. They were doing some dirty stuff. And then also who's the guy in Saul? Is it Salamanca? Not the old man, but the young guy.
Yeah, Salamanca. Lalo.
Lalo, man, that guy, he's not somebody that I would fuck with. God, that's a toss-up between him and Gus. I mean, I'd have to say the worst are probably the bikers, dude. Honestly, they did some pretty dirty shit, man. What was it, Jesse's uncle? Was that who it was? Or it was the other guy's?
Yeah, it was
Teddy's uncle.
What was his name?
Was it Teddy?
Yeah, Teddy.
Was that his name?
Yeah, it was his uncle and his whole biker Nazi crew or whatever.
Those guys were rough, man.
You know, and I'm glad you brought them up because I actually kind of forgot about them, but because I'm rewatching Breaking Bad now. So, but yeah, I'd say I'd have to agree between Tuco, because I mean, if they didn't kill Tuco as quick as they did, he could have been a huge problem. I mean, that motherfucker was crazy. The
Tuco was a bitch.
I don't know. He had no fucking off switch. Like when you pissed him off, like you were done for. So I think he kind of worried me. But I have to agree, the bikers, yeah, they were the shadiest. I mean, the way they hooked Jesse up to the chain, and you know, they laughed at him whenever they had him running on the chain, and it like slinked him back in. They thought it was hilarious. And Teddy was a psycho, but for whatever reason, he liked fucking Jesse. But I mean, he killed that maid just for finding his money. I mean, The fuck?
Teddy
Like,
was a messed up guy. He killed the little boy in Breaking Bad, then he killed the maid in El Camino. You saw how really fucked up he was in El Camino, man. It was just like, fuck Teddy, man.
yeah, I'm glad that he met his demise, and he thought Jesse was his friend. That's the most fucked up part about it. It was like, what is your brain like? How's that going? Like, how's that work for
Yeah,
you? But I was
you
glad
got
it,
some
man. It was
shit.
awesome the way fucking Walt set that machine gun up, and it just like it tore that fucking clubhouse to shreds. That was fucking sick.
Yeah,
The dude
that
in the
was sweet.
recliner, did you see that? Like he's just
Yeah,
rolling and he's fucking laying there dead.
it was awesome.
That was a
It was
good
awesome.
scene. Good scene. So who's your favorite character? Would you say?
In Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
uh, I like Gale, the gay guy. I thought he was cool. I don't think he should have got killed. I thought that was one of the saddest parts of the series. You know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. The one that came in for Walt to teach how to cook and
He was
everything.
like, he was like, sometimes you just got to put a dog down. Wasn't that one of the quotes in there? And that's
Yeah,
when Jesse popped him.
yeah. That was a kind of like I liked him. I wish I don't think he's my favorite, but I wish we had a little more time with that character to
Yeah,
develop. I think ultimately he had to die because Walt needed to keep Jesse alive, and that was
right.
really the only way to do that. But I wish they would have dived into his character a little bit more just to show. I mean, I think they do a somewhat in Better Call Saul, but even in that, they don't really do it justice. I don't think. You know how he comes
Gale
up working with Gus and everything.
Gale was a good dude though. He was pretty innocent besides the fact he was cooking meth for that psycho Gus.
Yeah, he had no. His ego wasn't there like the rest of them. You know, he was just cooking meth. He wasn't really in it for anything other than he was a science nerd that just knew that he could
Right,
make a lot of money cooking meth.
right.
I'd say my favorite character is one of your villains,
Who?
Gus.
You like
I
Gus?
fucking loved him, man. He's so calculated. Like
Yeah,
everything he does fits a purpose, and he has some respect to an extent for like family and things like that. Now, when push comes to shove, if he needs you to do what he does or what he needs you to do, you know, no one's safe. But just the, like, and it's because I like Mike too. I like Mike's my second favorite, and I like their interaction with
yeah.
each other, and
Mike.
then Saul. Like those are my top three. I gave three, you gave one, but Saul, I'd say Saul's my favorite. I'll go back and recant on Gus. Saul's my favorite. The fucking fast talking. He's like Ric Flair of lawyers. He's wheeling, dealing. He's just a
Yeah,
mouthy fucking. He's a slimy shyster, cocksucking attorney. But I
yeah.
fucking love him because he fast talks people and they don't know what the fuck's going on. And it's
Right.
like by the time they're like, what just happened? By the time he walks out, no one even knows what's going on. But he's pulled the
Yeah.
wool over their eyes and they forgot about the main objective anyway.
Couldn't you see Saul being like a defense attorney in like Baltimore City?
Oh yeah, he would be awesome there. But I mean,
I know, wouldn't he?
look at who he represents in Albuquerque too. Like in the show, it's like
Right.
he's not representing Bernie Madoff. He's representing like Bernie from the fucking block. You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
some fucking no low life criminal. Like, and then he starts to escalate that with getting in business with like Gus and all those. But I mean, he
Right.
starts off like in Better Call Saul. He's fucking slinging those burner phones and shit. And I don't know, something about him. I fucking like him, man. I dig his whole fucking persona, the flashy suits, all of it. Just the way he talks. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Better Call Better Call Saul is such a badass show that, you know, I think it didn't not everybody that liked Breaking Bad transferred to Better Call Saul, but another thing about Better Call Saul, man, you get a really big insight into Mike, Jonathan Banks, who plays Mike, and Mike's character really evolves in Better Call Saul, and I gotta agree with you, dude. Mike is a great character, man. What a badass,
Oh
man.
yeah, definitely. In the scene when Saul's picking up the money for Lalo,
Yeah,
and he gets ambushed, and Mike fucking takes out like that whole fucking patrol of people, like
yeah,
with just one person. Like it's just
yeah,
him, like with a fucking sniper rifle, picking these fucking dudes off. It's like, and then he fucking walks all the way to the desert. This old ass
yeah,
man, he's like, I don't have enough water for you. Better save that piss. I'm
He
like,
said, he said, I wouldn't waste that
yeah,
as he's getting ready to piss. I love that, man.
it's good. But and you can see like he struggles a lot too. Like he's a criminal, but he's like he was a cop. He was a dirty cop, but he was still a cop, so he cares about people too. And you see it when he tries to give people second chances. And like when he killed the German dude, I can't think of his name offhand,
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
but like you could see that it just ate him up to kill him because he didn't necessarily dislike the guy, but it's like if you can't be trusted, he's got to take you out, you know. And then he's also under the microscope of Gus, you know. So really, what do you do in that scenario?
I'll tell you what, Vince Gilligan, the creator and I guess writer for Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, hands down fucking creative genius. Same as Kurt Sutter with Sons of Anarchy, same as David Simon with The Wire, same as who was the guy that did The Sopranos? David Chase, man. I mean, just fucking amazing guys.
Yeah, and I think
Brilliant.
that lies in just their character development, the way that they make you fall in love with the bad guy.
Right.
Like you sit there and like Walt, man, like especially towards the end, like before he goes to Maine or wherever he went in the Northeast, like you're
Right.
really like, what the fuck are you doing? Like you're an
Yeah.
egomaniac. You're just as sadistic as everybody else. And like when he blew Gus's fucking side of his face off and shit, I
That
was
was
just like,
awesome.
holy shit! Like what are you doing, Walt? Like he totally morphed into Heisenberg.
That was
But it's like
awesome.
you couldn't help rooting for the fucking guy. It's like why do I like this fucking asshole character?
We always root for the good bad guy or the bad good guy. I don't know what you call it.
It's even
It's the
down to
same.
wrestling.
Oh, exactly. And it's the same thing with The Sopranos, man. This ruthless mob boss, Tony Soprano, it's like as much dirty stuff as he done, every episode you're rooting for him. Every episode.
Yeah, like he could like, and it's even the same like with Walt in like the way he treats Skylar. It's like, but you end up hating her. It's like why is she being such a bitch? But he's like really he's treating his wife like shit, like
Right.
legitimately like he's a horrible husband. But you're still like defending him. You're like, you know what, Skylar, shut up. But they picked the perfect fucking actress too to
She's
like for
great.
her because she just looks like she's a nagging, like annoying person. And she's
Yeah.
probably great in real life as an actress. She's probably a great person, but just like her look and she fit that character. And then the whole show, I mean, it's immaculately done. I think, in my opinion, of
Brilliant.
probably top 10 best shows I've ever watched. So,
I believe absolutely. I agree. Excuse me.
so,
I
but
got, I got. You got anything? Because I got a question for you.
yeah, go ahead, shoot.
A lot of people are going to ask this, so I'll be the first one to do it. I'll speak for everybody else. What's the story behind the name of the company that we're doing? Is there a backstory to it? I know a little bit of the backstory, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Tell us about tell us about the name of this podcast, the title, the company, what it all stands for.
Okay, so when we were younger, so just so we can alleviate anything, we did this when we were young children. Um, you
Hey,
know,
hey, hey, don't incriminate me too much because I might run for office one day.
so when we were young adolescents, we had some natural things that helped us expand our consciousness. And I was looking around and I seen all these wires, and I was like, man, this is the electric. We're the kids who touched electric. And I just, the herbals helped me see that. And I was like, I just looked at Will and I was like, man, we touched the electric. And like what was going through my mind was like Metallica, like goddamn electric. But I was like, I was in this room and I was like looking at like wires coming out of everything. And I'm just like, we're the kids who touched the electric. I was like, we're the electric church. And like, I kept going with it. I don't know about it. Like the electric kids, the electric church. I've bounced around from all of them, but I think the electric church is better because I mean we're not kids, and I just feel kind of stupid saying like electric kid, but like the unholy brotherhood of the electric church. And you actually came up like with the acronym, and that like we talked back and forth. I mean, we've been talking about this what for like 6-7 months now, if not
Yeah.
longer. We've always talked about doing the podcast, but like it really started morphing and shifting into what we're doing now. And I think that from the experiences of our past, it just all works out. And I think EB or UBEC, I think that just works, man. The UBEC, it's easy. It's a 4-letter acronym. Ubec, Ubec, bitch. But like, I
Sounds
don't know.
like sounds like a community college in Montana.
Yeah, it does, and it's like I'm sure there's somewhere out there that's like the electric church. It's gonna be like some new age fucking non-denominational church that's probably out there that's like the electric church. So that's why I was thinking about it last night. I was like, because I didn't want to go with the unholy just because, I mean, we all have our beliefs and everything. So, I mean, I'm not a Satanist. So, but, after I was thinking about it, I was like, fuck that church if they try to come for us, that electric church. We're the unholy brotherhood of the electric church. And they can
Right?
they can go fly a kite if they ever want to, come around here around us. And then like the logo,
You're
I fooled around with that last night. It's a church. It's got a little shield with a lightning bolt on it. It's got some microphones, cameras, a gaming controller, and like the dream and the goal is to make this a full blown studio. Whether we're staying in this area and building it here, or branching out and we get a studio somewhere else that's closer for any potential guests to fly in. I mean, Hagerstown does have a regional airport. It's fairly cheap to fly in and out of, so maybe even staying in this area isn't such a
yeah.
bad idea. But I mean, to me, I want it to be I want to have the segments, and I think you're on the same page with that. But I think the name, it's helping create a brand that's, I think, different than anything else out there.
You're yeah, and piggybacking off of what you said, if you're ready, willing, and able to fly into bumfuck Hagerstown, Maryland, and you want to film with us, we'll take you on, man. Just right? I mean,
Yeah,
come
and
on.
even if you don't want to fly in, I mean, you've seen we had the technical difficulties earlier with Zoom, but I'm sure we can make a workaround with that. There's other platforms out there that we can research, but we can definitely do this too. Like we're not in the same room, we're not even in the same house, so we can definitely make it a podcast where there's two or between Will and I, and maybe one or two guests that can come in with a Zoom or a Facebook call or some kind of conference. Even if we don't have the ability to do video, or you don't have the ability to do video, we can work a conference call. It's the beauty of the age we live in. Everything's digital, so you don't even
You're
have to fly into us. But definitely content creation, something I want to get into. I'd like to get some skits, like just when we get some free time, if we have some vacation, or if I'm off on a Friday and you're off, and we're out, and I want to create the content and everything, like do stupid little skits, maybe some street interviews, and just fool around, man. It's like I said to you earlier, and I say this to everybody who's going to watch this in the future: stop being a consumer, start being a producer. We sit around and scroll through these pages, and my first podcast that I did, Hudson Herschel, I did it off my iPhone for like the first 6 episodes. I stopped doing it when I got a fancy mic. But I mean, it's not impossible for anyone to do it if we can do it, So it's just
right.
it's a matter of, if you want it bad enough, you're going to do it. So,
Yes, sir.
but I think that we can wrap up on that note, and if unless you have
Can I?
something else.
Yeah, I do. Who's your team for the Super Bowl? It's playoff weekend. Who's your team?
I don't know. I don't watch football that much. Are the Ravens still in it?
No.
Who's in it? Give me the teams.
Jesus Christ, am I gonna read off every fucking team? Uh,
The major players.
let's see. The Eagles are in it. The Bengals. Oh man, I don't know. It all depends on who wins today. I don't know. I'm going with the Eagles, man. I want to see the Eagles go all the way.
Eagles, they're currently. Oh, that game was yesterday. Okay, so
Yeah, they
And
crushed the Giants yesterday. Giants are out.
so who plays it? The Cowboys and 49ers? That's who's playing
Yeah,
tonight at 6:30.
yeah, I think that's who it is. I got to check it out.
I don't care for the Eagles because I used to be a
Fuck,
Redskins fan back in the day.
well, fuck you too, pal.
So I'd say it's between the Chiefs and I'd like to see either the Chiefs or the Bengals. Both Midwest teams.
I'm sorry I asked.
Who do you want? The fucking Eagles? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yeah.
That's fucking horrible. I just
Damon.
those dirty birds they don't need anything. I just Philadelphia's a shithole to begin with.
You're just being rude now.
The city of brotherly love.
Oh, there ain't no brotherly love going on through there, buddy. I can
Uh,
guarantee you that.
So you're agreeing with me that it's a shithole.
All right, last question. We're gonna play a little segment of the show, fuck or chuck. All right. One, you gotta doink. Two, you gotta hit the road. She ain't gonna be staying with you tonight. All right. You got pick your poison. All right. Nancy Pelosi or Oprah.
Chuck Pelosi. Doink. Oprah.
You sick bastard. We're gonna end it on that one then.
Who would you go with?
I'd go with the same.
Yeah, so who's really that sick? Yeah. We just had a conversation about Pelosi. Like, it's.
I just wanted to confirm what we were saying.
Well, confirmation given.
All right. Well, you know what? I hope you guys enjoyed the first show. You got Dustin. You got anything you want to close off with? Give us the closer, dude. Come on.
Hey, what he said. Thanks for joining the show. Welcome to or not welcome to it, but I already did that. Just remember, Unholy Brotherhood of the Electric Church. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're putting it on Rumble. I think I already said Facebook, but I'll say Facebook again just so Zuck doesn't ban us because we're recording on his messenger right now. Any other socials, probably get on Snap, TikTok. We'll have it all. We're going to take over the whole fucking planet. So that's the goal. That's what we're doing. Appreciate you guys watching. And this is going to be, church, it's on Sunday. So we're recording on Sundays. Every week we'll see you. And we will get you some fresh content out. Appreciate you guys watching. And I am ending the recording right now as soon as I can figure out how to do it.